that he traveled he traveled to Pakistan, South India, and Indonesia, but did not travel on U.S. American passport. He actually had an American passport. In those days, as Mr. Berg has been, American citizens were prohibited from traveling to Pakistan because Pakistan was returned. So he obviously traveled on Indonesia. Anyway, so all of that was presented, and the judge dismissed the case saying Mr. Berg has no standing. I mean, if this is a constitutional question, judges use the no standing doctrine if they just, there's something they don't want to touch. They say no standing. The no standing doctrine, for those of you who are not familiar with that, means that these two people want to sue the government over some violation or whatever. And the court's decision, up or down, whether the court agrees with them or not, if that court decision is going to have some impact on this lady, but not this man, then he doesn't have standing because the courts are not in the business of just responding to people. And so they get involved in cases where the outcome would have some impact on someone, right? Well, Mr. Berg has to live under the U.S. Constitution for the rest of his life. We're talking about an interpretation of a natural born citizen that summarizes the facts, summarizes the serious adverse consequences that could befall the nation if we have a usurper, which is the technical term for somebody who in government is usurping power, taking power unto himself that he's not authorized to have. The serious consequences that could come from a usurper holding the office of the President of the United States. I mean, nobody wouldn't be entitled to the loyalty of anyone, the military included. Okay, any appointments as ambassadors to the Supreme Court that would be void from the beginning because he's not a bona fide. Congress couldn't pass any laws and get them passed on, signed by him and into law because he's not bona fide. There's huge problems to come from having some. Those words were put there for a reason. Okay, and so we said, in light of all of this, would you please direct the officials in Hawaii to, and this was December 1st and 3rd, we said on Friday the 5th and Saturday the 6th and Sunday the 7th of December, please authorize, if the courts won't do it, would you please authorize the Hawaiian officials to provide access to your original full copy of your birth certificate and to us, and we'll have a team of forensic scientists there to examine this authenticity. These things can't go too far from the vault. You can't send them out or something. And so, and we said, please do that. And then also on the 8th of December, the following Monday, please make arrangements to have delivered to the National Press Club in Washington a few other documents that have been requested by Phil Berg and others, passport information and records of his school records, his records at Occidental and Harvard and Columbia. He sealed them. They're sealed because there's information on those that might prove that he's not eligible to hold the office. So he has to have some of those documents, and we'll have a press conference at the National Press Club on December 8th. And so we were all there, the press was there, and nothing showed up. And the press conference lasted for about 2.5 hours. We paid to have it professionally recorded, and it's up on Google, and we got 2.5 hours to watch it. It's very interesting. And there's Phil Berg making his case, and there's another attorney from California, Morgan Tate's, making her case. And so we have petitioned for redress, and there's been no response. It's like, like what's going on, just vote for somebody else. I'm sorry. These are my rights. I have a right to a government that does not apply the armed forces of the United States and hostilities overseas without a declaration of war. I have a right, an individual right, to a president who is a natural-born citizen. I mean, these are my individual rights you're talking about. And so the question is what to do. And so that's it on this PowerPoint. All right, so let's jump right then to what it is we're proposing. We'll skip the other PowerPoint. Yeah.
We've been at it for more than an hour now.
Okay.
We'll take a little short break, give everybody a chance to.
Okay. Show of hands. Anyone want to take a break? Let's take a break. We'll be back
10 minutes?
in 10 minutes.
To be partaking in this. In a pyramid-type structure, you're putting everybody at risk and being pinpointed by the wrath of the government to collapse any kind of leadership that we have. My second is again, you have to have faith that they're willing to relinquish that control. King George wasn't. What makes you think that they will?
Again, I don't expect them to, and I know history. I know it goes in cycles. You have violence in communities and countries and so forth, nations. And it may come to that. I'll be the first to admit that. Only I think we have to go through this process. This Gandhi. I'm following Gandhi's formula until it becomes necessary to do something else. Okay? Gandhi said, you know who Gandhi was? He's the guy that got India out from under British rule, right? And he said, when the people are up against unjust and uncivil government and laws, and they are entitled to reform, they'll get it only if they follow the three-part formula. He said, if you're missing any one of the three parts, you'll fail. He said, you have to be proactive, you've got to be in their face. You've got to be nonviolent, and you've got to have a mass movement. You have to have a critical mass. That's the formula I'm following. Will we succeed? It's up to you. It's up to me. And if we fail, then I think you're going to see some sort of South American approach, some violent approach, where individuals target other individuals, whether they be judges or IRS agents or whatever they are, and they target them and take them out. I mean, that goes on all the time in Latin and South America. That's how they fight the corruption of their governments. And it may come to that. It would break my heart if it came to that. And I'm not ready for that. I think we can do this. I think we get 15 to 20 million people together. That's people power. People power has always worked. And a 15 million people say, we're withdrawing our support from the government, and at the same time, state legislatures, we're giving you this opportunity to pass these model statutes to reinvigorate these well-regulated state militias. Okay, then that's something like that is something we need to let the world see. Not only these violations and our repeated petitions for remedy to these grievances, and then let them see what we went through the trouble. And we're only talking a few months here, okay? We've gone through this trouble of getting these delegates together, discussing these issues for the world to see, documented for the world to see, okay? These issues will be professionally addressed, debated, discussed, and then there will be a course of action decided for the world to see. And then if the government says, sorry, you know, we are now, we've got a country where we have I've been in Haiti, and I've seen how Haiti is. I could never forget the images. First of all, I walked up to the presidential palace, which has a fence like our White House all the way around it, just to take a picture, and all of the guards cocked their weapons and pointed them at me. I said, okay, not bad. Right? Then I observed the hill people. Up on the hill were all of the people working for government and corporations. And then down here were all of the people eking out of existence. And I said, my God, that's where we're headed. We've got to prevent that. Okay? We've got hill people and we've got everybody else. And that's wrong. And so I would say, we give this a shot. You may be right. And we're going to, if we do this, then we're justified. And whatever, my approach has always been, take the appropriate next step. What is the appropriate next step where we're at today? Is it violence? No, I don't think so. I think the appropriate next step is the kind of thing we're talking about. And then the appropriate next step may come if they turn out to be violent. But I don't think we're there.
My concern comes from the fact that I was a medic in the Army. I've seen what military can do. I know we can't put an open door. I've got a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old daughter. I definitely want to live long enough to see them have kids. I don't want to be linked to terrorists or fighting for my freedom and die in the process. I want my kids seeing that life. When there comes a time, this is their did then, that we have to draw a line and say enough is enough. If you go one by one on the Bill of Rights, we have no right to let they already declared war on our Constitution and on our sovereignty. When do we decide, say we do this, and they tell us no, and don't answer any of our requests.
Ladies and gentlemen,
All patriots.
any patriots in the house?